After 50, a man's body begins to whisper warnings that most people ignore until the whispers turn into alarms. You start noticing that the energy you once carried so effortlessly doesn't rise as quickly in the morning. Your focus slips more than it used to. Strength that once came naturally now demands more effort. Even confidence, once grounded in your physical presence and mental clarity, begins to fluctuate in ways that feel unfamiliar. Many men mistake this quiet shift for aging, believing it's normal and irreversible. But in reality, what's happening inside the body is a combination of hormonal decline, microinflammation, weakened blood flow, and slow deterioration of metabolic balance. These changes don't arrive suddenly. They build gradually, creating a slow erosion of vitality that you only recognize once it becomes difficult to reverse. And yet, most men over 50 never realize that one small correction in their daily routine can influence all these areas at once. The real crisis isn't aging itself, but the loss of internal signals the body relies on to maintain strength and resilience. Testosterone becomes less available, not only because production decreases, but because stress hormones, inflammatory proteins, and poor circulation prevent the body from using it efficiently. Mitochondria, the small engines inside your cells, lose speed, making physical and mental tasks feel heavier. Your cardiovascular system becomes less responsive, restricting the blood flow needed for muscle performance, cognitive sharpness, and sexual function. At the same time, oxidative stress builds quietly, damaging the tissues responsible for stamina, recovery, and overall confidence. This silent internal slowdown is why many men feel older than they actually are. But there is a reason this video focuses on a hidden spice, one that cultures have used for centuries, but modern medicine has only recently begun to fully understand. When men over 50 introduce even small daily amounts of this natural compound into their diet, the body receives support in processes that usually decline with age. It targets inflammation in a way synthetic supplements often fail to achieve. It helps improve endothelial function, allowing the arteries to relax, expand, and carry blood more efficiently. It influences metabolic pathways that regulate energy, digestion, and the storage of unhealthy visceral fat. Most importantly, it supports hormonal balance not by pushing testosterone artificially, but by lowering the internal obstacles that prevent men from feeling strong and grounded. The problem is that most men hear the word spice and underestimate its power. They assume solutions must be complex or expensive, while the real answer may sit quietly in their kitchen cabinet or in a shop they pass every day without noticing. What makes this spice exceptional is its ability to influence multiple age-related pathways at once, something even modern pharmaceuticals struggle to accomplish without side effects. It does not act like a stimulant or a temporary boost. Its impact grows slowly, restoring natural balance in a way the body recognizes and accepts. This is why understanding the hidden decline is crucial. When you know what's happening beneath the surface, you stop blaming yourself for feeling weaker or less motivated. You stop assuming it's too late. You begin to see that small, scientifically supported changes can help you regain physical strength, emotional steadiness, and the confidence that comes with a healthier body. This spice is not a miracle cure, but it is a catalyst, a trigger that wakes up systems in the body that have been dormant for years. And in the next section, we will break down exactly why it works, what compounds inside it create these effects, and how they interact with the male body after 50. The true strength of this spice lies in its biochemical complexity, something that becomes especially important for men over 50, whose internal systems no longer operate at peak efficiency. At the center of its power are compounds that directly influence inflammation pathways, vascular health, hormone sensitivity, and mitochondrial energy production. When these compounds enter the body, they interact with cell receptors that regulate oxidative stress, slowing the chain reactions that lead to tissue fatigue and hormonal imbalance. They reduce the activity of NF-kappa B, the molecular switch that triggers chronic inflammation, allowing the body to stabilize joint pain, improve muscle recovery, and restore the clarity that comes from a calmer internal environment. This is critical because inflammation becomes one of the major hidden drivers of fatigue, low mood, and declining testosterone utility in men past middle age. By controlling this single pathway, the spice creates a ripple effect across multiple systems that usually deteriorate with age. Its second major influence is on the cardiovascular system. After 50, the inner lining of blood vessels loses elasticity as nitric oxide production decreases and plaque formation becomes more likely. The spice contains phytonutrients that stimulate endothelial nitric oxide synthase, an enzyme responsible for keeping arteries flexible and responsive. When this activation happens consistently, blood vessels regain the ability to expand more efficiently, allowing blood to travel with less resistance. Improved circulation means better delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the heart, brain, and muscles. For many men, this translates to sharper cognitive focus, improved stamina, more stable mood, and enhanced physical performance. This vascular support also directly influences sexual health, as erectile function is fundamentally dependent on proper blood flow. The spice's effect is not instant like synthetic drugs, but rather a gentle, consistent restoration that strengthens the system from within. The spice also carries active molecules that influence insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. Men over 50 often experience a decline in metabolic flexibility, meaning the body becomes less efficient at switching between burning sugars and burning fats. This leads to weight gain around the abdomen, higher blood sugar levels, and a general feeling of sluggishness. Compounds within this spice activate AMP-activated protein kinase, the cellular energy sensor that helps improve metabolic function. When AMPK is activated, the body becomes more efficient at burning stored fat, improving energy production, and maintaining stable blood sugar levels. This reduces the peaks and crashes that drain motivation and impact hormone balance. Better insulin sensitivity also means the body becomes more responsive to testosterone, allowing men to experience higher energy and better mood without artificially increasing hormone levels. Another crucial aspect is its neuroprotective effect. As men age, the brain becomes more sensitive to oxidative stress and inflammation, which can affect memory, concentration, and emotional resilience. This spice contains antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier, reducing neuroinflammation and supporting the regeneration of neuronal pathways. Studies show improved neurotransmitter balance, which helps stabilize mood, enhance sleep quality, and sharpen mental clarity. These effects matter more than most men realize, because cognitive decline often begins long before symptoms become noticeable. Supporting brain function early makes a profound difference in maintaining long-term confidence and independence. Finally, the spice impacts the endocrine system by lowering the enzymes that convert testosterone into harmful metabolites, and by supporting healthier cortisol cycles. This means men experience steadier energy throughout the day and fewer nighttime disruptions that drain vitality. Its adaptogenic properties help the body handle stress more effectively, ensuring that hormonal balance is maintained even during demanding periods of life. This multi-layered biochemical profile is what makes the spice extraordinarily powerful for men over 50, addressing not just one issue, but the entire network of changes that occur with age. When used consistently and correctly, it becomes a natural ally in restoring strength, clarity, and long-term vitality. For men over 50, introducing this spice into daily life needs to be done with precision, because the goal is not just consumption, but absorption, activation, and long-term metabolic influence. The body at this age does not process nutrients with the same efficiency it once did, so the strategy must focus on timing, combination, and dosage to ensure maximum benefit. The most effective approach begins with understanding how the digestive system changes over time. Gastric acid levels often decline, slowing the breakdown of nutrients and reducing absorption. To counter this, the spice should be taken during or immediately after meals that include a healthy fat source, because its active compounds bind naturally with lipids, and travel more successfully through the intestinal lining. When paired with fats from sources like olive oil, nuts, or fatty fish, its bioavailability increases dramatically, allowing the body to receive a steady supply of its anti-inflammatory and vascular supporting molecules. Dosage also plays a crucial role. Many men assume that taking large amounts will accelerate results, but this spice works best in moderate, consistent portions. Excessive intake can overwhelm the liver and reduce its beneficial effects. A daily amount divided into 2 smaller servings aligns better with the body's metabolic rhythm, supporting steady hormone balance, blood flow, and glucose regulation throughout the day. Morning intake helps prime mitochondrial energy systems and reduces stiffness that often accompanies early hours, while an evening intake supports recovery, joint comfort, and cardiovascular relaxation during sleep. It is essential, however, to avoid taking it on an empty stomach, especially for those with gastric sensitivity, because its potent compounds can irritate the stomach lining when not buffered by food. For men taking medications, especially those for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinning, it becomes even more important to integrate the spice thoughtfully. Its circulatory benefits can amplify the effects of certain drugs, so spacing intake at least 2 hours apart is recommended to prevent interactions. Men using medications for diabetes should monitor their glucose closely when they first begin supplementation, as the spice can naturally enhance insulin sensitivity and lower blood sugar. This is not harmful, but the adjustment should be supervised with awareness. When used responsibly, it supports medication effectiveness rather than competing with it. Another powerful strategy involves pairing the spice with synergistic ingredients that amplify its actions. There are certain natural compounds that increase the spice's absorption by unlocking chemical pathways in the liver that would otherwise break it down too quickly. Even a small pinch of these synergists can boost the spice's potency by several 100%, allowing men to experience greater metabolic, hormonal, and cardiovascular improvements without increasing dosage. Combining the spice with warm beverages like herbal teas also helps accelerate absorption, because heat activates its volatile components, increasing its physiological impact. At night, blending it with calming substances that support cortisol, balance enhances sleep quality, which is essential for testosterone restoration and muscle repair. Consistency is the factor that makes or breaks results. The spice works through cumulative biochemical effects, repairing oxidative damage, restoring endothelial flexibility, and recalibrating metabolic systems layer by layer. Men often make the mistake of using it for a few days and expecting immediate transformation, but its true power appears when the body adapts slowly and steadily. After several weeks of continuous use, most men notice subtle but meaningful improvements: smoother digestion, enhanced morning energy, reduced joint discomfort, and better sleep. After a few months, deeper changes emerge: improved vitality, stronger libido, more stable mood, and clearer cognitive function. This gradual progression is what makes the spice a sustainable long-term tool rather than a temporary boost. The most revealing part of this journey comes from observing how men actually change when they integrate this spice consistently and correctly. The transformations rarely begin with dramatic moments. Instead, they appear as subtle shifts that slowly reshape daily life. One of the earliest improvements many men experience is a steady rise in morning vitality. Instead of waking up stiff or mentally foggy, the body begins responding with smoother movement, clearer thoughts, and a sense of internal readiness. This happens because inflammation decreases, and mitochondrial energy production becomes more efficient, allowing cells to recover more fully overnight. Men who once found themselves dragging through early hours begin noticing a natural lift in motivation, which often becomes the first sign that the body's internal systems are recalibrating. Digestive function is another major area where noticeable change occurs. By supporting bile production, improving gut motility, and calming inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract, the spice helps the body process food more efficiently. Bloating decreases, nutrient absorption improves, and bowel regularity becomes more predictable. This is vital for men over 50 because compromised digestion is one of the leading factors behind poor energy levels, weight gain, hormonal imbalance, and chronic discomfort. Once digestion stabilizes, men often report a lighter feeling throughout the day, even when eating the same foods as before, because metabolic sluggishness begins to fade. Libido and sexual performance also respond strongly to the spice's vascular and hormonal effects. As endothelial function improves and blood flow becomes more efficient, the body is better able to support erectile function naturally. This isn't the sudden effect of medication, but rather a gradual strengthening of the circulatory system that restores confidence from within. When inflammation decreases and insulin sensitivity improves, testosterone becomes more available to the tissues that depend on it. This helps rebuild the internal foundations of sexual health. Many men describe a renewed sense of masculinity, not only physically, but mentally, because libido is deeply connected to emotional well-being and self-assurance. Joint function and mobility often experience meaningful improvements as well. The reduction in inflammatory cytokines and oxidative stress allows the cartilage and connective tissues to operate more effectively. Stiffness that once made simple tasks uncomfortable begins to ease, and recovery from physical exertion becomes noticeably faster. Men who incorporate even moderate physical activity alongside the spice's daily use frequently report that their bodies feel more capable and resilient. This contributes directly to confidence, because physical ease alters the way a man navigates his day, influencing posture, mood, and overall presence. Mental clarity and mood stabilization form another powerful layer of transformation. As the spice's antioxidants reduce neuroinflammation and support neurotransmitter balance, men often find themselves thinking more sharply and reacting more calmly to stress. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative, which further enhances cognitive function and emotional stability. This combination creates a positive feedback loop. Better sleep improves hormones. Better hormones improve motivation. Improved motivation reinforces healthier habits. Many men describe this stage as feeling like they got themselves back because mental presence becomes stronger and more consistent. Beyond individual benefits, the overall sense of control over health becomes one of the most significant outcomes. When a man sees his digestion stabilize, his energy rise, his mood sharpen, his joints loosen, and his confidence return, he no longer feels like aging is happening to him. Instead, he feels like he is actively steering his life and physiology. These real-life transformations, observed in both clinical practice and everyday routines, demonstrate that aging does not have to mean decline. With the right support and consistency, the body still has remarkable capacity for renewal, strength, and stability. And in the next section, we will bring all these insights together into a complete lifestyle formula designed to maximize and sustain these changes for years to come. Creating a lifestyle that truly amplifies the benefits of this spice requires more than simply adding it to your meals. It demands a holistic approach that aligns nutrition, movement, rest, and stress management with the unique needs of men over 50. Nutrition becomes the cornerstone, emphasizing whole foods that support vascular health, hormonal balance, and metabolic efficiency. Lean proteins, omega-3, rich fatty acids, colorful vegetables, and whole grains provide the essential building blocks for muscle preservation, cardiovascular resilience, and cognitive function. The spice works best when paired with these nutrient-dense foods because its active compounds synergize with natural antioxidants and healthy fats. Enhancing absorption and effectiveness, hydration also plays a crucial role, as water supports circulation, digestion, and cellular detoxification, which allows the spice to function optimally within the body's metabolic networks. Physical activity should be tailored to both the body's capacity and its needs. Resistance training, even moderate, preserves muscle mass and supports testosterone levels, while cardiovascular work strengthens the heart and improves blood flow to every organ, including the brain and reproductive system. Mobility exercises maintain joint health, reducing stiffness and risk of injury, while balance and flexibility drills protect independence and functional movement. Integrating this spice into a routine that includes a variety of movement types ensures that its benefits are magnified. Enhanced circulation, reduced inflammation, and improved energy are all amplified when the body is actively engaged and challenged in ways that promote long-term vitality. Sleep, often overlooked, is another critical pillar. Deep restorative sleep allows hormone production, cellular repair, and neurological restoration to occur at optimal levels. Men over 50 often experience disruptions due to lifestyle, stress, or hormonal changes, but combining consistent sleep patterns with the spice's calming, adaptogenic effects creates an environment where the body can truly rejuvenate overnight. Small adjustments, such as reducing late-night exposure to blue light, maintaining a cool sleep environment, and practicing relaxation techniques, further enhance recovery and ensure that the benefits of both lifestyle and supplementation are fully realized. Stress management completes the formula because chronic stress accelerates inflammation, disrupts hormone balance, and erodes both physical and mental resilience. Practices such as mindfulness, breathing exercises, meditation, or light outdoor activity can lower cortisol levels, improve mood stability, and create a foundation where the spice's hormonal and vascular support is fully utilized. When stress is controlled, energy levels stabilize, recovery accelerates, and mental clarity returns, allowing men to engage fully with both work and personal life. Finally, the key to long-term success lies in consistency and integration. The spice is a powerful tool, but it cannot compensate for chaotic lifestyle patterns or neglect of basic health principles. Men who commit to a routine that combines daily intake of the spice with targeted nutrition, structured movement, restorative sleep, and stress management report the most profound and sustainable transformations. Over weeks and months, subtle improvements in energy, confidence, mood, digestion, cardiovascular performance, and hormonal balance compound into a substantial enhancement of quality of life. This approach transforms aging from a period of decline into a phase of renewed strength, clarity, and vitality, allowing men over 50 to reclaim control over their bodies and their confidence. By following a science-guided, structured lifestyle, the hidden potential unlocked by this spice is amplified and preserved, creating not only immediate improvements, but also long-term resilience and health that can carry well into the decades ahead.